What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Lancer gameplay, and today we are going to be talking about the Objection. Did it really need to be buffed? Let's head over, let's talk about it. So as you can see here, it says that the Objection received a damage fall off buff to raise the minimum damage floor. So the damage fall off at all ranges has been improved. So I kind of wanted to use that as like a little jumping off point to actually talk about the Objection, because the Objection has kind of seen some very interesting ebbs and flows during its existence in Rogue Company. You know, it's supposed to be like the SMG answer to shotguns in some capacity, right? It's supposed to be something that's very like up close quarters combat style weapon that does a ton of damage very, very quickly. It has a lot of damage output, especially whenever you are in those optimal ranges, and is able to get in there and capitalize where it needs to capitalize. The Objection was really, really strong for quite a while, for an entire season, whenever it got its mythic wrap. I'm not saying that it's coincidence, but it got buffed into being a meta weapon for a very long time because of the range and the damage output that the weapon had, the fire rate, etc., etc. And it just felt very oppressive. They went in there, made some changes to it, and kind of brought it down a peg or two, and now they are feeling that it needs to be buffed up just a little bit more. Now, I think that this is actually in preparation for the dual Boyer SMGs that will be coming out whenever they release the newest Rogue, whenever that may be. We've been waiting on this Rogue to come out for so long at this point. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later, but I do think that this is in preparation of that, because I will have a video of the dual Boyer SMG, so if you're interested, go check that video out. But yes, did this actually need a buff? I didn't really feel like the Objection was in a bad place. You did have to play. Here's the problem with SMGs and weapons in general, right? If there's a niche weapon like shotguns, Objection, you know, burst fire weapons, things like that, there's a different play style and a different mentality that the user has to have in order to be able to capitalize on what these weapons are good at, right? And the thing with the Objection is you kind of had to run the Objection as basically a fully automatic spray and pray SMG that is strictly all hip fire. You know, it's all guts, no substance, right? You have to push in, you have to be aggressive, you have to know your placements, you have to know how your enemy is going to react to your placements, and you're going to have to use that to your advantage and to your benefit while you are using this weapon. Most people don't want that. Most people in the Rogue Company community want something that is accurate as humanly possible, that has the fastest fire rate, that has the highest damage output. So that's why we still have the D40 meta. They will not go in there and make the changes that need to be made to the D40, and the D40 is currently outperforming all of the SMGs and most of the assault rifles. That's what the community wants. So the Objection realistically didn't need to get nerfed or buffed in any capacity. The Objection just needed to be used in the proper way. They need to promote the accessibility to that playstyle and show the benefits of having a playstyle similar to that. You're able to run through your magazine very, very quickly. So the rogues that capitalize with it most are Lancer, Chalk, Glimpse, and a couple of other rogues that have access to either replenish, restock, or has some type of very, very quick reload, like Talon would fall into that category. And you do have to put yourself in situations that you don't necessarily want to be in, but that is how that weapon is played. Trying to buff weapons into becoming viable or becoming useful is not the answer. And historically, we've seen this with Rogue Company, and even in this update, we've seen this with Rogue Company, where it's instead of adjusting the weapons that are outperforming the rest of the weapons, they're going to take the time to go in there and buff the rest of the weapons up to that point. Why? You're making it worse by doing that. So what is the point of having like a really, really, really strong SMG in the game right now, like the D40, and instead of taking the measures that you as the developers need to take to bring that down just a peg or two, you're going to go in there and try to bring the rest of the SMGs up to that point. It makes no sense. It's bad game design and it's bad game balance, in my opinion. And that's kind of where I land at. The Objection has always been a niche weapon. I've always enjoyed running it when I do run it. And it is something like back in the day, I would run it with Mac. Whenever we were doing like 3v3 strikeouts with like Valley Thief and those guys, like I would run it with Mac on there, because especially on maps like Icarus or some of the smaller maps where you knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of space between you and the enemy, and you're able to just pump damage out, you know, down after down after down after down after down, and still be able to capitalize on what that weapon is able to do. And that is the play style for the weapon. I don't feel like it needed a buff. I don't feel like it needed a nerf. I felt like it was in a good position. I felt like when they started doing the SMG changes back in February, that it was one of the stronger weapons, because it did have a very interesting, unique identity associated with it. And once you understood that identity and that play style, you could absolutely shred people and capitalize on it. But a lot of people don't understand that. Whenever you're taking your average casual player from a D40 player to an any other SMG player, then it's lost in translation for the majority of the community. And that's because they want the weapon that they're familiar with. They want the weapon that is going to net them the most damage output at all ranges. That's just the sad reality of it. That's in every single video game. That's why balance needs to exist. Unfortunately, in Rogue Company, that is a line that seems to be crossed on a very consistent basis. But be sure to let me know what you think about the Objection in the comments down below. Do you feel like it's in a good spot now? Do you feel like it feels a little bit better than it did before? Or do you feel like it didn't need to be buffed whatsoever? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
She's headed to the steps, I think.
What are you
Thank
doing?
you, bitch.
Yeah.
He's right here. Oh, she beat me. I don't know.
He's on the steps. Here she comes.
Pushing.
Why are you? What are you?
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
I'm in that room again.
I got revealed.
Office King.
I'm gonna try to get in there. And...
Oh, she got me. She's in this corner. There's two up here now. One just jumped down from the statue and he's coming.
Another contract in the bag.
Get out.
Giggity.
Run with
Wanted to
me.
dance on us and shit. So. Pull those.
My mind's telling me no.
He said,
He sung it and he was like, yep, this is it.
yeah. You know exactly what he's talking about, too.
Yeah.
My mind's telling me felony.